Welcome to Hiring Happy Humans, where we talk about all things HR with a variety of folks, from CEOs to community partners, sharing up-to-date trends, best practices, and our wild workplace stories. Each interview is designed to leave you with the knowledge to keep your sanity. I'm your host, Dawn Sipley, of Sipley the Best. Thanks for joining in, and let's jump into this week's episode. Welcome, everybody, to Hiring Happy Humans podcast. I am here today with Donovan. I'm just so excited to have Donovan on today. His energy is always just electric. We first met each other in the Christian Chamber of Commerce, and I heard like this beautiful noise coming out of our banquet hall that I had never heard before. And I was like, where is this coming from? We have had over 100 chamber meetings at Orlando, First Baptist Orlando, and I had never seen this. And when Jonathan signed up to be a member and an ambassador, one of the ways that he helps create an environment that is amazing is through his musical abilities. I'm just so excited to bring you on here. And then you've got some really cool other stuff that I want to talk to you about as well that can really help small business owners when attracting talent, which I'm so passionate about.
Absolutely.
So, Jonathan, you were in there tickling the keys, right? You are a musician. What instruments do you play?
Okay, then. Thank you, first of all, Don, for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. If over 4 decades now, I've been an entertainer performing. My primary instrument is the piano, but that's also the other keyboards, piano, organ, keyboards, digital keyboards and all. But the piano's my passion. I'm also a singer and perform as a soloist or as a member of a band or doing the world famous dueling piano circuit, which I've done for many years.
Yeah, the dueling piano thing I find just absolutely amazing. What are some of the venues that you've played in the past?
Okay, then. I played venues across the country and around the world, from Amsterdam to the Caribbean. I've done cruise ships. Las Vegas is one of my favorite places back in the heyday, of course, pre-COVID. But I played at many of the casino hotels, from Bali to the Paris to the Bellagio to what was the other one that I used to love to play in? The Venetian. Okay, that they did the show there as well. So I've had an opportunity to play some really premier places.
That's amazing. I just, when you have corporate events and corporate settings, that you can get a DJ to go in there and spin some music, have some background noise, but there is just something about live music that is just played from the heart. It is just a different ambiance and really kind of creates a special setting for events.
I agree with you fully, Dawn. There's nothing like throwing out the energy and having to come back, and it bonds people together, especially in the dueling piano type format, because the whole thing is about interaction between the musicians and the people. So you make a great time out of the entire thing.
Now, for those who don't know what dueling piano is, can you share what that is and how that works?
Sure. What you would see are 2 pianists across from each other on the stage, and the show is completely interactive. All the songs are requests. It's a request-driven show, so we'll get music from every genre, from every time period. It's amazing how much music we cover, and we get the audience to sing along, clap along, dance along. We've even got some bits where we can get them on stage doing things and creating memories. For instance, if we're doing New York, we'll get folks up and create a kick line like the Rockettes. I mean, we can go from one end to the other. It's comedy, it's music, it's fun.
That is amazing. So, once you have your annual events or your big banquet and things like that, that's great. It helps build rapport and set an environment and things.
Absolutely.
But something that's really important before you even get there is attracting candidates to the door. And when candidates are looking to accept a new job, the number one question they ask is, how much are you paying me and what are the benefits? So you are with Aflac, correct?
That's correct. I'm an independent agent for Aflac as well.
And how long have you been with the duck?
I've been with the duck now. I'm in my third year.
Okay, that's well, that's fantastic, because sometimes that can be a challenging environment to be in as far as business development and stuff goes. So kudos for you for being able to bring some longevity to that field. That's amazing.
Thank you. It's a great career.
Now, some people, everyone's familiar with the duck, but really drive home what it is, and how it helps business owners when it comes to attracting talent, because it's more than just major medical. Major medical is almost unexpected. This is really something that impacts the lives of people when they're in crisis, typically.
Absolutely. And that's what, as you said, sets us apart from major medical. When you have major medical insurance, that insurance will pay the doctors, will pay the hospitals. You'll usually have a deductible or some form of co-insurance that you have to come out of pocket to pay, and it ends there. But let's face it, when you're sick or you're injured, the bills don't stop coming in. And oftentimes, folks just don't have the ability to continue paying their bills on time or in a way that that is going to keep them afloat during this time of crisis. What Aflac does is pays the employee directly into their checking account in the event of a sickness or an illness, so that they can keep the lights on, they can pay the rent, they can make their car payments, they can take care of childcare, groceries, the things that still have to be taken care of. That's what we do.
So when someone has Aflac and something happens and they get hurt and they're out of work, how do they go about getting that money? Like, what does that look like? Do they have to fill out all these reports and send all this medical history? Like, is it a cumbersome process? What does that look like?
That's one of the amazing things about Aflac, as well as how easy it is to use. Generally, everything is done digitally, right from your home, right from your computer. You'll have a portal in which to enter, and you can do everything you need to do, whether it's filing a claim, checking on a claim, making payments, even if you're a direct customer. Whatever you need to do, you can do by portal. And most importantly, all of my employees, all of my clients have me as their support. So if there are any issues, they have any troubles, all they have to do is call me, and I'm there to assist. I can file a claim with them or for them. I can check on statuses and iron out any issues for anyone.
That service is amazing. Now, after you make a claim, how long does it take to get a check?
Well, pre-pandemic, we were even as close as next day. But post-pandemic, generally a business week, you should be good to go.
Still, I mean, we get our checks weekly from work. So how nice is it to have that extra money in that quickly?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I was just at the doctor's office yesterday. I myself have supplemental insurance. I have had it for a long, long time. And I made sure I left with that super bill, because I was going to get my $90 when I walked out the door, however much it is. I know it's way more than what my deductible is. So I'm like, ooh, I'm making money today.
There you go.
Helps compensate for any time missed off work. And absolutely. I'm able to pay the copay coverage with that. So it works out really well. And it was absolutely a lifesaver when, a few years ago, my husband and I had a rough couple of years. I had heart surgery. He had a total knee replacement, and they paid us thousands of dollars. I like to joke that I think I'm on the upside. I think they paid me more than I've paid them, which is not always the case when it comes to insurances. So, but it really helped our family during that time. My husband was out of work for 6 months. And it paid all of his out-of-pocket medical costs that we were responsible for the coverage of the surgery and whatnot. And even a little bit with short-term disability, 60% isn't a whole check, but golly, it is a heck of a lot more than 0%. So I don't know what we would have done without short-term disability and supplemental insurance.
Absolutely. Well, then you know exactly what a value it is. And for the amount that you spend in premiums, it's so affordable.
It is.
I mean, for the
what
price
does the plan start at? Can you just kind of give us some price points on, spectrum of what we're looking at?
Okay, depending on the product, almost everything is $10 and below for an individual. And of course,
Wow.
yeah, and that would be a weekly figure. So,
Okay.
we have an accident policy, for instance, starts at $3 in most cases if it's going through a payroll account. So for the price of a Starbucks, you can make sure that you have the kind of coverage it's going to do exactly what you described in the
Yeah.
event of a sickness or an accident.
Yeah. And if I'm an individual buyer, being a business owner and whatnot, and I've had it a number of years through employers and whatnot. But when you're an employer and you are offering this to your employees, isn't it pre-taxed money?
Generally, it is.
Generally,
There
okay.
only in one. There's only one or two instances where it's not. But for the first, if the employer is taking care of it, yes, it's pre-tax dollars. So you are now lowering your tax liability as well.
All
And
right.
that's an expense that we can help small business owners to capitalize on.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I'm an employer and you're telling me, okay, $10 per head, for each of the product lines or something, and it just seems like another cost to me. How do employees view it? How do I know that I'm getting my values worth? I mean, if they're not working, what does that look like to them? What does that look like to me? Is there an intrinsic value? Is there a culture value that is aligned with this? What have you really seen your small business owners believe that this says to their employees?
Okay, that's a great question, Don. And there are a few parts to that. So let's kind of do a little deeper dive.
Yeah.
When I approach the employer, I explain that we understand some of their pain points. Nowadays, especially in this economy and the way things have been since the pandemic, there is fierce competition to attract and to retain quality talent. Um, and basically, at this point in time, companies that are not offering benefits are having a hard time competing with companies that are.
Mm,
People tend to stay where their benefits are. And as you said at the very beginning, they want to know how much you're getting paid, what kind of benefits do you offer?
right.
Okay. It costs a lot of money to hire people,
It does.
and it does. So when people don't stay, that's money lost, and that's money you're going to have to spend again.
Mm,
Statistics prove that people tend to stay where their benefits are. In fact, 7 out of 10 employees have stated by survey that they would even settle for a smaller salary or less money in order to have a stronger benefit package. So,
interesting. They like that
indeed,
one-stop shop effect then, because you can buy supplemental yourself, you can buy major medical yourself, but when your employer just goes and loves you enough to take care of all of that on the front end, take the logistics off, I really think that it shows that the employer cares about the whole person and not just what they can produce for them.
absolutely, absolutely, and that breeds loyalty. That breeds a feeling of wanting to work harder and do more for the employer when they feel that they're being taken care of or that they care. And as far as to the employer as well, the value you were talking about, intrinsic value. Imagine an accident policy that's going to do all that we've been talking about, and it's $3 a week. If you were to go ahead and give a $3 a week raise to someone, okay,
They want to care.
all right, all right. But if you're going to give a package like this, an accident policy, or an even bigger package, depending on what your budget is, the value in the eyes of the employee is going to be much, much higher. It's like the old adage, what's better, what's more valuable, a pound of feathers or a pound of gold? Okay, so we tend to be the gold in the equation, and that's another value. And again, we're going to help lower expenses because employers can expense this off.
Right, right. And I would think, especially if accident or illness or tragedy has hit a family, has hit one of your employees, having someone like you who really cares about people, has a high level of customer service, it's nice to know that maybe you might check in on them as well. As a boss, I can't call them every day when they're out and kind of chit chat how their recovery is going, but it would be nice to have someone just touch base and show love during the time of distress for a family.
Absolutely. And as a rule, when I personally process a claim, I do follow up with folks for that reason, just to let them know that we're there and to make sure everything's rolling smoothly. It makes such a difference.
Yeah. So, what types of businesses do you do business with? Can a solopreneur or a very small entrepreneur with just a couple part-time employees benefit from this? Or is this for your big brick and mortar that has like 50 or more? Or what? Who is this good for?
Okay, then the market that I primarily work with is 3 to 20 employees.
Okay.
Okay, that seems to be our sweet spot. But I mean, we have accounts. I have one particular account that has over 700 employees. So you can go that end, and at the same time, with as few as 3 people, you can go ahead and establish an account that will take care of anyone. And what's good about it too is that there are multiple ways to fund it. So even if it's too much for the employer's budget, just allowing them to the employees to run it through the payroll,
Mm,
okay, gives the employees a discount and costs the company nothing.
wow. Wow. Okay. I mean, I like costing $3 is my favorite price.
There you go.
So if I was in the market to get this for my business and I wanted to give you a call, how long does it take to get set up? What does that meeting look like? Do I have to hand over financials to you, or what do you need from me to get the ball rolling on this?
It's very simple. It's very easy. Generally, when we meet, it'll be about a 15-minute conversation. I'll be able to walk through everything that you're going to need to know to make a decision. And of course, it gives me an opportunity to learn more about your business, what
Mhm.
your particular pain points are, and I can help to custom tailor your package to get the maximum coverage and to meet the most needs for you. It's a simple application of just a few questions that I do with you digitally, and we can have you up and running in minutes after
Okay.
you've made a decision. Yes,
So a half hour less of my time, I can offer this new benefit to my employees. Is that what you're saying?
absolutely. And we'll
Okay.
come in to help educate your employees on everything. Because let's face it, the moment you say insurance, no one wants to talk. No one wants to listen. It's like, insurance, boring, money, nah, sorry. Okay. But what
Right.
we'll do is we will come in, meet with your employees. We'll bring in donuts, we'll bring in pizza, we'll bring in little Aflac ducks. Okay, whatever it takes, just to go ahead and give them the opportunity to learn what we do. And we find that 80% of all of the employees that hear what we do and get to understand what we do want the product.
Okay. So I don't have to like do this big announcement and teach them how to enroll and teach them what to buy, or no, I don't need to know the features and benefits and all that. I can just set up the break room and you educate them. So I'm out.
That's it. That's
Okay.
it.
I like
Unless you
that.
want to sit in, unless you want to sit in, that's not a
Yeah, no,
problem.
I got stuff I gotta do. I want them well loved. I want them educated. I want them to know what we're offering, but I can't. So that's really good to know that it isn't like this, because I've shopped for major medical, and I tell you, it makes me want to take a long walk off a short pier.
It's
You
not
know,
fun. It's
it's
not
so
fun.
complicated, and then administering it is complicated, and then
Sure.
then they're coming to me with questions that I don't understand. So I love the fact that your service just allows me to do the introduction, set the appointment, and then you are able to love them really well and give them the better information than I would probably be able to do.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we do, and it gives us a chance to build a relationship with everyone. We have the materials. We have things that even we can put on a QR code so that they can
Oh,
scan it at their own leisure and get information. Of course, they'll have my contact information if they have specific questions. But we make it as painless and as easy as possible.
well, you have obviously done a lot of homework on pain points of small business owners, because time is usually of such value. And I love that you have an affordable product that doesn't take a lot of time out of my pocket or time out of my day to be able to kind of explain to folks. So that's great.
Absolutely, that's what we try to do.
What do you think a lot of people misunderstand about supplemental? Do they just not know what it is? Because when I talk about it, people have a tendency to be like, what, what's that? And how do they pay you because you got hurt? And what do you see a common misunderstanding as being?
Most everyone that we talk to who is not familiar with supplemental insurance thinks of it in terms of major medical insurance.
Okay.
Okay, and they think it works the exact same way. Some people miss the boat altogether, thinking, "Well, my wife's got a coverage from her job," but it's not necessarily the same thing. Again,
Okay.
that pays the doctors and the hospitals, but we pay you, and they don't understand that quite often. And when it comes down to deductibles, that there's going to be money to help you with that. Okay,
Right.
co-insurance, there's going to be money to help you with that. I mean, whatever you decide to do,
Mhm.
okay, we're gonna just give you the control of the finances. So we're protecting your income.
So I know that Aflac has an amazing line of different packages. I think there's a cancer plan, there's a
Yes.
wellness plan, an accident plan. I might be using different language, but can you just kind of go over with us what the different plans are and kind of what they cover?
Sure. The cancer plan was the first plan that Aflac introduced in 1955. In fact, Aflac created the voluntary supplemental insurance industry. We
Really?
started
I
it.
did not
Uh,
know that.
Indeed, we started it. We're number one at it. We're a Fortune 500 with over 65 million policyholders around the world. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So we know what we're talking about. But
Well,
the
that's why
cancer,
you only need $3 at a time. You do that multiple and you're making a dollar or two.
there you go. Volume, that's what we do. But getting back to the original question,
Yeah.
the cancer policy will take care of you from the moment you're diagnosed. There's money for chemo. There's money for diagnosis. There's money for doctor visits and the things that are associated with. We also have hospital plans, hospital indemnity plans that'll pay by the day while you're in the hospital to make sure that you're covered and you have an income coming in, as well as
That's
money
usually for
for,
like each overnight. Is
yes,
that
yes,
usually
for
for like,
every
okay,
24-hour
okay,
period. Mhm.
24-hour period. Okay.
Right. Now, even if you're not admitted, our plans will even some of our plans even allow you to get money for central care or a walk-in
Mhm.
situation as well. So
Okay.
there's value on both ends. The short-term disability, as you talked about, is probably one of the most important and one of the biggest ones that we carry. It's one of the most popular products because, again, we will pay up to 60% of your
Mhm.
regular income as a
It's
benefit to
huge.
you while you're out. It is. It really
That's
is.
huge. Mhm.
I actually went through it last year, and I can't tell you what a difference it made it for me. So I can speak as a customer as well as an agent. And in addition, we have dental, and now a group dental plan, which we didn't have before. We have now
Oh,
purchased, yes, indeed. We now purchased one of the biggest networks in the business, Argus Dental. We purchased them. They're nationwide. There's almost 300,000 members of that particular network. We are now Aflac Dental, and we have that available. And you can actually start a group policy for your employees with as few as two people. Okay, so
wow.
so that's really exciting. But there's vision, there's critical illness care, basically anything that can happen to you, whether it be an illness or an accident, we have some kind of coverage for, and
What
life
what would
insurance as
be
well.
what would be deemed as critical illness care? Is that like a stroke or a heart attack or something?
All of the above, all of your
Okay.
majors, all of your majors. You
Okay.
get a stroke, heart attack, the list goes on. In
Right.
fact, we've even added a rider to our products known as Aflac Plus that'll even cover COVID,
Oh, you
something we
brave.
didn't have. Mhm.
You brave. Now, I think one of the things that I found most fascinating about it when I had personally gone through it is it's kind of broken down. So, like for us, with the critical illness, that's what I was covered under for my heart surgery. It was like
Sure.
I got so much for heart surgery, then I got so much for anesthesia, and then I got so much for being hospitalized overnight, and so like by the end of it, all these series of events, like I got a pretty nice check for it. And it's kind of the same with my husband. It's funny and bizarre when you read the list of services and how much it pays for different things like loss of limb, or
Absolutely.
a skin graft, and so it pays you for all of these morbidly crazy things that you hope to God never happen, but if they do, thankfully, you have something there to kind of ease the financial burdens as you go through such an emotional experience.
Absolutely, Dawn. And here's something else we should mention here is that supplemental insurance works hand in hand with any other insurance you might already have.
Okay.
So, so if you do have major medical, for instance, the doctors and hospitals get paid, and now this is going to enhance the benefit to you. Okay, so you can pay your bills as well as have your regular medical covered. Okay, even in accidents cases with workman's compensation, the accident plan still pays.
Okay.
So these are enhancements to whatever coverage you might already have as well.
That's perfect.
Mhm.
Now, do you ever see employers just have supplemental and not major medical?
Small businesses especially have made that move. If they can't afford the large participation rates and so forth that are involved in getting a major medical plan, they quite often, a bulk of our business is smaller companies giving them something to offer to their
Benefits,
people.
right? So you can put
Absolutely.
on your employment ad, offers benefits.
That's right.
At least
That's
get the
right.
resume and you can explain to them the details of the benefits later. So that's
Sure.
amazing. And you're helping in time of crisis. It's not that you're just going, all right, well, we offer you nothing, but it's
Sure.
something, it's that entry level point to ease that pain during a time of crisis.
Absolutely. And there are some professions that don't always get the opportunity to get benefits. Landscapers, for instance, we have plenty of people in that business who now can say, hey, I've got benefits, even though I'm out taking care of landscaping.
Mhm.
Not too many companies offer that. So
Right.
there's really no limit as to what we can do or who we can do it for.
That's fantastic. I just you entertain us, you protect us, you ensure that our people are well taken care of. I love it. Is there anything that you want to add today that you think that people just don't know or don't understand?
Well, if I were to say anything, Dawn, it's that there are so many things that are so unknown about supplemental insurance, and making
Mhm.
that a part of your plan, at least to know about it, is
Right.
so much, is so very, very important. If you can't do it right now, that's all good. But we want to make sure that people know what's available, what's
Mhm.
out there. And I think everybody can relate to either being in a position or knowing somebody who's been in a position where this would have been a big help.
Yeah.
So my advice to everybody is take a listen, take
Right.
15 minutes, invest it in yourself, invest it in learning how we can help. And again, since it's so affordable, we might be able to enhance your life for you.
Well, you're obviously an expert around this, and just a 15-minute conversation to educate yourself as a business owner would be real valuable. How much would you charge me to come out to my business and educate me and my executive team on what supplemental benefits looks like?
No charge whatsoever. Okay. I'll even bring the donuts.
Deal. We'll
Well,
work for food.
there we go. There we go.
So you'll come out, educate us, then we can make a decision off it if it makes sense for our team, if we have any interest with the team and stuff like that. You do that free of
Absolutely.
charge?
We do that
Okay.
free of charge. And
Okay.
again, as I said, 80% of employees that hear about it want it. So
Great. Great. So I always ask all of my guests, if you could tell the young professional Donovan anything, what would you tell yourself?
oh my, that's a great question. Um, I would say to the younger people coming up, find out what your passion is. Um, working at something that you can be passionate about changes the entire game. It becomes your why. Why you want to do it. It's the thing that'll get you through those rough times. And don't be afraid to dream and explore. There are no wrong answers. Okay, so if it's something that you can dream, you can achieve it, and allow yourself to explore different opportunities and find out what moves you. Okay, so many people that I've met later in life regretted not taking this step or that step or something they always wanted to do and didn't do it and should have done it, so forth. The beauty of being young is that you get the opportunity to check things out. You can trip, you can fall, you can make mistakes, bounce back up, and still have time to get it right. So
Yeah.
I would say that would be my advice.
That's really good. So I have to ask, you provide amazing insurance coverage for folks. So how does that feed your passion?
I get to help people. I get to make a difference. I get to
so it's not about your product or service. It's more about the intrinsic effect that your product and service has.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you hear the stories, as we've been speaking about, of folks that went through things and were like, thank God for Aflac, that's the payoff right there. I mean, to know that the person that just got diagnosed with cancer, with all that they would have to think about, didn't have to worry about how the rent was getting paid. Okay, that kind of thing. And one more thing, speaking about the younger folks and so forth, in their looking around, check Aflac. It's a great career, great training, and an opportunity to learn a professional sales skill as well as a professional service. So it's something they may want to consider as well.
Sales has always been absolutely one of my favorite professions. You don't need any education. You just need a little enthusiasm, honesty, empathy, and a commitment to a system. You can't just go out there and hug all the babies and
there's a process,
shake all the hands and think it's going to rain. There's a process to sales, but Aflac is absolutely, you're right. They're one of the best when it comes to sales training. So if you want a skill set that'll do you well your entire life, whether you're trying to sell your husband on buying you some gold or diamonds or getting kids to clean their room, a good sales knowledge will never hurt you through your life. So
I agree.
Aflac is known for being one of the top sales trainers in the nation. That's for sure.
No doubt about it, Don. Thank you for the plug. I tell you,
awesome.
You know what you're talking about. I know you do.
Well, we will have all your information down in the description section. If major medical is not something you can afford, if you just want to learn more about supplemental or hear some real life stories about how supplemental insurance has helped save families from financial crisis. So many bankruptcies result from a health crisis. You were sharing some statistics with me earlier. Bankruptcy, foreclosures. Oftentimes, those are just a snowball effect from a health condition or accident that has led them down that road. And if there's anything that you can do to help those crises, like those foreclosures or other financial repercussions from a health incident, we definitely want to get signed up for that. So thank you so much, Donovan.
My pleasure, Don. Thank you so much for having me.
You have a blessed day. Stay happy.
You too. Have a blessed day. You too. Thank you so much, Don.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again for spending time with us today. If you want more HR stories and resources, go to simplythebest.com to join our newsletter. That's SIPLEY. Until next time, stay happy.